that I like fall right and oh my god and like break my whole leg. Hello everyone, we are back at Tribal Council for the final 5. Just finishing getting in our places here so that we can film all the action. As I have mentioned several times so far on the stream, we are turning all of this into episodes. So yeah.
Final 5, come on in.
Damn it, there was a cloud out and now it is not there. All right, the final 5 are coming on into Tribal Council. Kelsey with the immunity necklace around her neck with Jordan, Sarah, Nina, and Kyle.
All right, I'll now bring in the jury. Got Alyssa, Michael, Declan, Sarah, Kyle, Bobby, Daniel, and now Bennett voted out at our last Tribal Council. All right, let's talk about that challenge. I'm gonna throw it to you, Nina. Seems like you and Kyle made a choice not to participate in the challenge, so I guess I just want you to speak on kind of where that decision comes from and, you know, how you had to weigh the game versus kind of life consequences there.
It was really hard for me because I am very competitive. Sorry.
Okay.
You got you. Support you.
But the organization that I'm getting money for is all about plant-based food, and I didn't think it was okay.
So Kyle, you made a similar decision. I guess what went into your conversation? Thank you, Nina, by the way.
Yeah, no, I think similar reasons. I play for a conservation thing, and for me, you know, this is for fun and games, and I know no matter what charity wins, it's going to be for a good cause. But it just didn't feel right for me to kill 14 things for the fun of a game, and for selfish reasons. So, you know, I thought at that point it was more worth it to kind of take the risk, move forward, and set out.
And we all support both of them. Clearly, I'm sure all the people over there do as well.
Yeah, obviously it's tough, Nina, you know, leaving yourself vulnerable here with only 4 people. So do you feel like your name is coming up at this tribal?
I know that it is.
And did you, I guess, is there someone else that you're throwing under the bus? Someone saying, hey, they're a bigger threat to me, the jury loves them more, or something like that? Like, is there still a final pitch you can make, even though you don't have the necklace on?
I mean, I thought it was kind of Sarah versus Nina, but I don't think it was really close, and I knew that. And it's just like, if this is the round that I go out, that I will go out on, like, I'm proud that I made that choice.
Okay. Sarah, so she said that she thought it might have been you or her. I mean, how do you take that? Is that something that you're worried about coming into here? Or is that kind of a badge of honor at this point, so you kind of have your name come up?
I mean, I've seen my name at the past 2 tribal councils, so, I mean, it's always scary. I never want to see my name, really. So, if it's me, it's me, but at the end of the day, I think we have to think about just our games and what's going to propel us forward to getting to the end and doing what we have to do, whether that's making oral decisions or, you know, voting certain people.
Sure. Jordan, do you feel like your name was going around in this set of 5?
Yeah, I heard that my name was brought up once, which I've been hearing a majority of the rounds, so it just comes down to what everybody decided to do. I don't feel particularly vulnerable, but even if you're a stray vote or whatever the case may be, like, that's just how it is. And sometimes people will go out as a stray vote, and sometimes that stray vote, as I'm announcing it to everyone, it might become a majority vote. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. I mean, to a certain extent, I mean, don't you want to be vulnerable at this point in the game? There's only 5 of you left. I mean, the people that you're voting out are the people that, you know, are potential winner threats, right? I mean, that's why you're getting people out of here. The only other thing you might be voting out are goats. So, I mean, I guess, is there a little bit of frustration that you're not seen as a big enough threat to be targeted, or are you just that well insulated?
That's a good question. I was on the bottom for a while, a couple of rounds ago, and although I never got more than 1 or 2 votes at every tribal council, my name was coming up constantly. And whether that's because I was a threat or maybe not useful to the people that were just throwing that vote on me, every single time it was probably for a different reason, to be honest. So I think at this point, anyone that gets a vote, like during this part of the game, is a compliment.
Right.
In a way, it's tough to see it, but you got to be proud to leave at any of these places, really.
Okay. Kelsey, this is 2 in a row for you. Is this like, I know earlier you were worried that you were on the bottom, and then it seemed like you were potentially in a swing vote scenario. Is this 3 in a row?
No, it's not 2 in a row. I was vulnerable. I got a vote last
Sorry, you got a vote last time. 2 out of the last 3.
Me.
2 out of the last 3, I think. Is this a sign that you're kind of gaining steam, coming along? I mean, I feel like you said, you went from kind of being on the bottom. Maybe you're describing yourself as a swing vote. A couple immunities here. Are you gaining steam and showing something to the jury here?
I'm sorry. By like me winning or just?
Yeah, I mean, you winning. I mean, you're immune. I mean, is it giving you more kind of power within this game?
I mean, yeah, sure. I think everybody agrees that when you walk in here with the necklace on, you feel more comfortable about what's going to happen. With that being said, especially after that last tribal, I think I feel good enough in my connections that I'm not sure if I needed it, but I always want it. I'm never gonna, like he talked about it, like maybe we agree, like one or the other, rock, paper, scissors, and I was like, no, that's not us. Like that's what you said to Dan last night. So like let's compete for it. And I think we're probably both happy we made that decision because it definitely wasn't an easy challenge to compete in. But like this is part of the reason why we're all out here is to test ourselves, and I just knew I would have regretted not playing in it if I did that. I absolutely understand. With that being said, I absolutely understand the people that made that decision, and I support them, and I think that they will not regret it when they look back on it. So I don't know. I know I'm talking a lot, essentially. But
Does anyone else have anything to say? I mean, we can get to the vote.
It's just to clarify, like it was kind of more of like a solidarity option because
okay, sorry, I didn't get that.
No, it's okay. No. Oh, actually, that was said wrong. It was more so like I know the 3 of us were contemplating on doing the challenge, and it's like, should we, instead of like having to run the full thing, I don't know, kind of just see where options were going with that, because we definitely all spoke prior and heard everyone's like values and morals there. So, although for me it didn't go against mine personally, I just wanted to touch base with everyone to see kind of like how people were feeling there.
Okay. Excuse me. All right, with that, I think we can get to the vote. Kelsey, we're going to start.
All right, we are heading back to our shady little hangout spot so that we can talk about this last tribal council as well as this kind of entire last round of Final Five. Lots of discussion about the actual challenge itself. Of course, Nina and Kyle choosing to release their worms into the forest rather than eat them and then have a shot at winning immunity. Wow, I forgot my chair was moved and I got stressed for a second. And Kelsey said that Survivor, tests you, it tests your limits. It really is a game that makes you examine yourself and decide, who are you, and also what are you willing to do that is different than who you are. I know a lot of time in Survivor, we hear people talking about, themselves as a person that's different than their in-game self. And so, there's a lot of choices that have to be made in the game. And Nina is a vegan. She's playing for a plant-based cause. She did not want to compromise on that despite being incredibly vulnerable this round. She's pretty sure she's going out, but choosing to, not be at odds with what she personally feels. And it's different for every person. In this last season of Survivor, there was also a vegan that played and who also really had a tough time. you know, with trying to stay vegan and ultimately deciding, you know, I'm gonna eat some crab and I cannot sustain myself out here or live if I'm not eating some of this protein option. So it's, you know, it's different for every person. And it also, I mean, it comes in a variety of, you know, things, like people whose morals don't include, you know, lying ever. Sometimes players have a really tough time out here lying to people or being dishonest or, you know, being deceitful. Sometimes, you know, people want to have all the strategy in the world and then aren't comfortable, you know, lying to someone's face. Sometimes they just tell the truth to their detriment. Sometimes they avoid speaking at all. So there's just, I mean, that's why Survivor is so fascinating. It's such an incredible social experiment, and it literally just, it tests you in so many different ways. And you know, it's up to every player how they wanna play this game. Let's see, and moving into the kind of strategy portion of this vote. So it would appear that Kelsey, is it Kelsey? No, it's, sorry, it's, so Sarah and, is it? Sorry, I know that, I think it's Sarah, Kyle, Em, and Jordan have an alliance. I'm sorry, it's so hot out here, and I was told stuff, but I don't remember what it was. I think, okay, there is some sort of group of 3. Oh, yes, okay, I'm sorry. It is, so the group of 3 right now potentially is Sarah, Kyle M, 2 original grays, and Jordan as a 3, potentially voting for Nina. Nina, I believe, is going to be voting for Sarah. Kelsey is possibly joining her. So, and Jordan actually talked about, you know, potentially throwing a vote that could end up becoming the majority vote. So I'm not really sure if that was kind of like a smoke screen, you know, to hide what his true plan was, a reminder that this is the last round that an idol could be played if it was played, or if it was, you know, found and able to be used. So it could be that there's still a little bit of smoke screen at play here. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I know there has also been talk of, again, looking at the end game. Do people want to sit next to someone of their same original tribe color? Do people want to sit next to people with different tribe colors than them? So it will be very interesting to see who the final 3 ends up being. But of course, first, gotta take someone out at 5. So thankfully, there's a lot less players, so there's a lot less voting. Yeah, so sorry, I'm so hot. This game has been fierce today. Anyway, but thank you so much for the questions. Keep them coming. We will be heading back in just a little while back over to Tribal Council. Yeah, so I'm so sorry. I'm just so out of it. Oh, I got like 4 hours of sleep last night. It's fine. All of production and volunteers have pretty much been averaging like 4 to 5 hours of sleep every night. So it's been, I know the players are not sleeping, but all of us working this game are also really like not sleeping much. You know, so, all right, we are heading on back. It is time to see the votes. So we'll just file back on into Tribal Council. Ooh, look how pretty the clouds look. This is like such a beautiful, I don't think I've looked up today because I'm wearing a hat, so it's like blocking my view of anything above me. But yeah, just out here in the middle of nowhere, Jackson, Maine. Oh, thank you, Rory. You're so sweet.
If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play one, now would be the time to do so. Okay, I'll read the votes. First vote, Nina. Second vote, Nina. Third vote, Sarah. The next person voted out of Can You Survive 2022. Nina, you tried to spell.
All right, and we are following
All right,
Nina
so
out of
we're
Final
getting
Tribal
back.
Council. We are still live streaming, so we will be getting to chat with you and get some of your thoughts before we let you go on to Ponderosa. Any just initial things you want to share as we walk down to our spot?
I realized it was a very not traumatizing game for me. So
That's wonderful
I never
to hear.
got any votes for me before this. I was never really blindsided by any votes. So honestly, when I went out like this, I'm proud of how I ended. I'm a really competitive person. I'm pretty sure I could have won just because of how competitive I am. But it wasn't worth it, and this is all for charity. So, I should probably do it for the charity. So, yeah. I feel
Awesome.
good.
Great. You can drop your stuff. We'll just be asking you a few questions, so get a little more comfy. So just what feelings, emotions, what's going through your brain right now at this moment?
A lot of pride. I thought that was like the best possible way to leave because I feel good about what I did, and I knew it was going to happen. And people told me before, everyone told me before, so there was literally no surprises. And I love all of them, and I know why they did it because I am literally badass, and I know I would have won, and they know I would have won, so it makes sense. So I take it as a compliment, 100%. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you made it literally all the way to the final 5, made it to all the way through day 5 of this game. Can you just speak to us about your experience throughout the season?
I feel like there were days and times where it was really, really hard, and hunger was really bad, and the heat was really bad, and the emotions were high, but I was also surprised at actually how well I did with all those things together. I always felt like it always felt like a family. Like I felt so good with everyone. And this last day, honestly, with all the adrenaline and everything, we can't feel any of the hunger, any of the heat. I mean, the heat, yeah, we can feel it at Tribal Council, but like the adrenaline, like I feel zero hunger, and I'm like I've eaten nothing today, basically. And that's not like me. I eat a lot usually. But yeah, like I did that, and I slept on the ground, and I had the option to sleep on the tarp last night, and I literally decided to sleep on the roots, and
Wow.
that's what I did because I wanted the full experience, and I did that.
Awesome. And can you give us a favorite moment or two, share with the viewers?
My immunity wins. Probably the one. I mean, it's funny because the one with Dan was a little less like exciting because it was 2 people and it was so quick. It was over. But the other 2 were against Kelsey, and those were just so satisfying and lovely. And I never knew that I was going to be a challenge beast, but here she is.
Hell yeah.
I feel like every time winning immunity with your tribe also was just like so glorious and amazing. And then doing that fire puzzle thing, that was another highlight.
Awesome. Well, before we let you go, you mentioned it a little bit in your Tribal Council answers, but you're not only playing for yourself, but also for a plant-based charity. So this is your chance to shout them out, tell the viewers exactly who you are playing for.
Cool. So I'm playing for the Good Food Institute. And so they get funds together to allow research to create food that's easier to make, cheaper, uses less resources for anyone to use around the world, so that food is easier to get basically for everyone. And it's by giving plant-based options. So for example, instead of having a pasture with cows and chopping down the trees and everything, giving them all this food, they would just make like a patty that requires less energy, less water, less resources, less money, and then we can feed the world way more. So why not do that?
Awesome. Well, you will find out just how much money you've raised for them a little later today. But in the meantime, this will not be the last we will be seeing of you. You will come back for all the tribal councils, including the final tribal council, where you will help crown the winner of Can You Survive 2022. Nina, congratulations on a game well played, and we will let you go eat now, even though you say you're not hungry.
Thank you.
Perhaps your stomach will growl as soon as you get over there. All right, and you can head on down that way. Yeah. All right, and there you have it. Nina eliminated the final 5, and now we are down to the final 4. We will be doing a challenge shortly, says Brandon. Brandon says 10 minutes, so okay. Yeah, so we will be back in about 10 minutes for the final 4 immunity challenge. See you then.